phase 12. My system actually ends at phase 10, so everything that I record off of this is just going to be a bonus recording. This is phase 12, theoretically, so we'll call this bonus phase 2. The villa that is ready to collect, we might as well grab it. We've got the happiness, so we might as well collect that. The villa that's ready to collect was built from phase 9, so it's about an hour off from the other buildings, but I was not able to collect it on the previous collection. Same thing is going to apply to these 2 villas that are currently cooking. They won't be ready to collect with the rest of my city, but I want to start the video by pointing that out before we actually collect, just so you recognize the fact that those will not be actually collectible resources. On paper, I'm getting 300,000 coin, 350,000 supplies on paper, but when you consider the fact that these are not collectible, I'm actually losing around 40,000 coin each round currently, because I'm systematically replacing cottages with villa, and I'm not rushing the villa to replace them. So on paper, I'm generating a ton of coin, but in reality, I'm actually losing about 40,000 each cycle. Next part of the process is just to print a ton of Legionnaire and Ballista and delete those camps permanently, or at least very semi-permanently. We may need to plant the Ballista again at the very end stages, but we should be able to print enough troops out of this collection to sustain several levels of QI, and then the Archer is still there if we need those troops. Really not much to explain this collection. I'm going to stop it here and then just screen record the collection part and then be done with it. There's really not much to explain, because everything that all the changes that we're executing in this cycle were mapped out in phase 8, set up in phase 9, and then executed in phase 10. So from here, it's just sustainable exponential growth. So be right back. Alright guys, collection is ready. This was originally going to be pretty simple, but I was challenged by a good friend of mine that he is not interested in watching my tutorial videos until I reach phase 69. Like Ragnarok scenario, you know, that's how I interpreted it, at least. Which is going to be really hard to reach that phase number, considering it's a 10-day season and there's only 2 phases per day. So that's going to be difficult to accomplish, but challenge accepted. And if I am even kind of sort of as good at math as I think that I am, we should be able to do that this collection, or at least insanely close. Even though it's impossible, I think that we would be able to accomplish it. The main purpose of this collection is to print a surplus of Ballista and Legionnaires, as well as Archer, in order to sustain on the map. And then after that, we can delete those and build the remainder of our city, right? I think collection's ready. We've got the happiness, right? So let's jump into it. Let's collect everything. I normally would not recommend deleting your archery camp. I've been pretty intentional about not deleting that, in fact. But I think we should have enough archers. Yep, we're good on archers. So I think we can actually delete this. Normally wouldn't recommend that, but we're going to use some of these resources to print Ballista and Legionnaire. Let's start off with, I guess, like 1 or 2 Legionnaire. Just to, you don't really need a whole lot of these, but we'll just print a couple. Definitely want a set of Ballista. Just kind of watching my resources up there to make sure that it's all balanced, you know. Probably going to want a couple sets of Ballista. We've got resources to spare. Let's do another cycle of Legionnaire. I guess we could do a 10 of that as well. Probably another Ballista cycle. I mean, we've definitely got the resources to keep going. Let's do definitely one more Ballista. And then let's do 4 more on the Legionnaires. I think that should be good, and I actually probably deleted my archer prematurely, so I'm going to replant that real quick. But I think we're going to be good on troops for a while. Yeah, so overall, pretty successful collection. We got the troops that we needed. Let's check our resources real quick. We have 69 in supplies. Yeah, I think we're going to be good on army for a while. We've got plenty of each of the 3 troop types that we're using. Overall, pretty healthy collection, I think. So this one ended up being more of a joke than I would normally make. But it kind of goes to prove a point that once you have this system, you can manipulate it basically however you want, and it doesn't make a difference, right?